Hello lovely humans, and welcome back to another video. So, I'm trying something a bit different today with the way I'm recording. I decided to record my entire display instead of just my window so that you can see this. Because otherwise you wouldn't be able to see this if I just did like a window capture. And real quick, I'm going to turn on my fan. You probably won't be able to hear it, but having it on will help me talk a bit louder because I get so nervous when it's just pure quiet, so I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I've got to get my blanket out from under me because it's gonna get colder. My fan is really loud, so I don't know if it'll pick up in the recording. I hope it doesn't. But also, I think my noise suppression will catch it. But yeah, I have hotkeys that I'm using. So I had to go in to Clip Studio and disable all the function, or like, I disabled the shortcut keys associated with F1 through F4. So, like, it's not important. F1 just brings you to like a web page of instruction manual, and then F2 to 4, it's cut, copy, and paste. And then there's already other shortcut keys to do that, so I didn't need any of those. So I can just use those to start, stop, pause, and unpause my recording. And my phone buzzed. Ooh, I need to plug in my computer already. So I'm going to do that real quick. There we go. That way my computer won't yell at me. This video is going to be mainly focused around showing off my brush pack that I made. I didn't entirely make this brush pack on my own. Like, the inky pen is mostly taking settings from Lavender Town's Magpie ink pen. So as you can see, they're very similar because I did want them to be pretty similar, but I wanted mine to have a bit more of a texture to it. It's not like I took the brush tip that she made and just slapped it on mine and called it my own brush pen. Like, I went in and made my own brush tips for all of these brushes except for the pencil blender and the smooth blender and the fill marker. The fill marker is just a circle. So if I stamp it down, a circle, more or less. But triangle oil brush, made that myself. Oil brush, made it myself. Cloven pencil and cloven pencil darker, made them myself. Inky pen, made it myself. Like, all those brush tips, went in, did them myself. So I still consider these like my own brushes because I put in like at least some of the work to make them my own. but it's kind of like I took regular like brushes, except the Cloven pencil and the Cloven pencil darker, they are very much my own. But with these, like I took the Magpie ink pen because I love the settings on that, like the really complicated settings that I don't know how to do myself. Changed the texture and changed the brush tip and changed the pen pressure settings and maybe something else. I might have turned off the random. No. Whatever. Um, so, and like Cloven pencil, I took the G pen and just changed the texture, the brush tip, the, I think, pen pressure settings? Yeah, I changed the pen pressure settings a bit and changed that for it goes based on tilt also. And I changed like the way the opacity works, all that. And the oil brush, I'm pretty sure I took like I don't even know which brush I used as a base, because I don't think I used this oil brush as a base, because if I did, I wouldn't have had to change the settings to match it. So I'm not too sure what brush I used as a base, but I pretty much changed like almost everything about it, like based on how it works, because as you can see, if I lay down like a bright ass red, bright ass blue, they mix beautifully. And you can get a perfect gradient. And same thing with triangle oil brush, it's just like smoother and a different texture and a different shape than the regular oil brush. And it's better for like not blending out things perfectly. I'm gonna change the brightness of my tablet. So like I've been doing this like as a test to see if I know how to shade or not. Spoiler warning, I don't really, but just it's very good for shading metal because you don't get like the perfect blended out look, which is better for metal. And you can just change the size to get some of that blended out, like roughly. And then bright highlight, put that there. And for your ambient lighting, and when you have like the ambient lighting that you need to blend out better, that's when you use the pencil blender or the smooth blender is what I would use personally, because I want it to be like very, very smooth, no texture. And boom. And like blend it out a bit here, like on these edges. Like that original dark color. Like give it darker. That's the blender. My cat's on my door. I'm not gonna let her in though. She will just yell right in my face. But yeah, the triangle oil brush is very good for blending metal and like painting metal. The fill marker is just very thick to very thin, good for filling in spaces. Like, if I want to color in this character, I could get into, like, I could probably color around her mouth, even at this size, without getting too outside the lines. And, of course, I'm, like, getting a little outside the lines because I'm going fast. Because this isn't the main demo. This is just, like, me warming up and kind of explaining about the brushes. But yeah, like, you can fill in large areas quickly, and you can get, like, very tiny details, like, in the crevices. And it's, like, very easy to control. I can't really showcase how easy it is to control because it's more based on feel, but you get the idea. And, like, with the pencil blender and the smooth blender, I can, you know, even with just the fill marker, that, and get like a textured kind of blend with the pencil blender, because it's just a blender with a pencil texture, or if that's not really your style, a smooth blender. Like smudge tool, but it's not like every other smudge tool. It's like Ibis paint smudging, which is my gold star standard for smudge. I made a community post about the brush pack that I made. So that will like have all the information, or it'll have like the examples of like how it looks at 25 pixels versus 8 pixels, all that. My cat will not shut up, and it's really annoying. I think I'm gonna just take her downstairs, so I'll be right back. Alright. My cat is outside now. She's a lot sometimes. Oh. Like, she's just very loud, and she likes meowing a lot. But anyways, let's do some warm-up sketches. And get myself a drink. I'm not too sure what to draw, because I've been having like, it's not really art block, it's just like I don't know what to draw. Like every time I want to draw, I don't know what to draw. Because like I could draw my characters, I have over 200 of them, but nah. Probably because like I've drawn like just busts of my characters like way too many times, and so I'm getting bored of that. So I don't really have the skill set to do much more. So it kind of sucks. And I recently came up with, or not really came up with, but I got this new story idea. very much based off of Lore Olympus. So it's following the Greek deities. I'm not too sure if I'll focus it on Persephone and Hades, or maybe Aphrodite and Ares, or Hecate and Hermes, or someone. But I think I'll do a video on that, like, if I ever get a full idea of the story. But this is, like, my Persephone. She is green, because, she's the god of the spring. But I will probably do a full video delving into that, but I just found a drawing that I like of one of my characters. So I think it would be good to, like, just do some sketches of them. So I have this one comic idea, centered around the study group of, like, college kids. And basically, it kind of just ended up that almost everyone coupled up except for one girl. And I'll probably end up making her, like, Arrow Ace, because I don't have any characters that are Arrow Ace, and I'm Arrow Ace. So, just trying to figure out this character's thing. Or I guess they're not really bangs, per se. Or maybe they are. I have no idea. But this is Lenny. Love her. I had, like, a list of, like, what she's majoring in, what she needs, like, help in study-wise, and stuff like that, but it's in a sketchbook that I don't have right now. Or, like, I have it, I just don't want to dig it up, because ugh, my bed's a mess. But she, eventually couples up with Remy, and Remy, I remember this, is an accounting major, because her parents want her to be. Probably because, like, her dad was an accountant, and, like, she kind of said offhandedly, like, when she was a kid maybe, that she wanted to be just like her dad, and so they're, like, holding her to it, pretty much. Or something similar. Like, she is majoring in something to do with math, but she has undiagnosed dyscalculia, and she just thinks that she's just really bad at math. And I do remember that Lenny is, physical therapy major. Like, she wants to be a physical therapist. Don't exactly remember what she's majoring in, though. And she's, like, really good at, like, the sciences and math, but she's failing her, like, literature classes, like English and writing, which, oh, did, gonna do again. And the rest I haven't figured out their majors or what they're trying to be. I could probably like think it up on the spot, but I don't really wanna. I drew her way too big. So I guess this is just gonna be like a Lenny and Remy page. I need to bring her up higher so she's like real tall. And Remy is like Lenny's probably around 6 foot. Like she's tall. Or like 6 foot to 6'3", I will say. And Remy's like at the tallest 5'6". I shouldn't be actually giving them definitive heights because I don't know how to draw that specific height difference. I'm just gonna say that Remy's like about a head shorter. And if that's not matching up with what I said, then too bad. Um, but Lenny's like very laid back and kind of like a bit of a jokester, I guess. Like I don't know how to say this without it sounding like I don't know how people work. Like she just jokes around a lot. And Remy is like very straight laced. And she very much likes light and dark academia fashion. And she was just like, whenever she got into the dorm, she was like, holy shit, I get to fucking dress the way I want now. I get to wear all these TikTok aesthetic, fucking academia clothes. And like, that's the extent of her rebellion. Sorry, I just get very focused apparently when drawing clothes. And just when drawing in general. I'm gonna real quick pour up more of some Mountain Dew because I always forget that drinking things helps to clear my voice up. Because I have like especially when my voice gets settled into a deeper like range, it gets very gravelly, I guess. And at least to me, I cannot stand to hear it in my own voice. Like, I think it sounds nice in other people's voices, but my own voice, no. It does not sound good. And drinking, like, anything, but I've noticed it especially with Mountain Dew, which is funny, but it helps clear my voice up and not. Like, it just gets rid of all the gravel and it just sounds smoother. I'm gonna try to not sit crisscross applesauce because that really fucks up my legs. Like, my knees end up hurting a lot. So I've been trying to settle into a different posture when drawing. Of like, just having my legs kicked up. Like, a kickstand is what I'm trying to say. I don't like that mouth. That's a cute mouth. Ooh, I could give her like a cute belt chain. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really fun universe because it's very grounded in reality as opposed to pretty much every other one of my comic ideas. Ooh, speaking of comic ideas, I could draw some raids and wrath. I do love drawing some witches. Although I would probably need reference for most of them, but there's like five that I know. Like, I know these gals. And one of them is the Moon Witch. Love her. Ooh, that's who I should draw. Alright. This is exactly my process for drawing, by the way. I just do some warm-ups until I'm like, ooh, I know what I should draw. That. Because, like, one of my first pieces of digital art, and it was my first piece of digital art in Medibang Paint on my iPad, was the first design of the Moon Witch. You know, before I knew what diversity was. Um, yeah, she's really cool. I need to stop drawing in this style and get back into drawing in my old style. Or not old style, but regular style. Although I don't know if I like structuring heads this way anymore. Because I initially did it because I wasn't able to draw heads very good any other way. Sorry, I'm trying to like think of her features. Um, but now I'm able to just do circle, and then that's my guideline for drawing a head. Because I practiced in drawing in a different style. Doesn't really look like her, and I don't like how big the eyes are. Just Yeah, they look clunky now, but they'll get better. And her hair is right down the middle. I like the ear. So I just don't like the size of the ear. There we go. I always forget to change back to the tool. But she did not have a personality before. But now she's just kind of like mysterious and ethereal. That's like the main things I want to get across with her. Like, down to the way her hair is styled is very ethereal, I think. Although I have trouble drawing it. Like, I just can't compromise on it. Like, I just need to learn how to draw it. Because there is no hairstyle that suits her other than this, to me. I don't know what she's going to be doing with her hands. I want, like, kind of like, okay, is on the inside. Need to lighten this area up. You can see what the hell I'm doing. Gotta remember pinky short. Well, not just that, but like hands are just like, you gotta remember a lot of things to draw hands. And then that's just drawing the hand. Drawing the hand connected to an arm? Oh boy. Okay, I actually very much like how this is unintentionally posed. And I think I can twist her body a little bit. And all my characters are kind of thick. Yeah. Just have this arm. Okay, I need to restructure where it is, because it would just kind of be like that. And it would be kind of hiding behind her body, but I don't want a tangent, so it's completely hiding behind her body. And she's got abs, because Cool like that. And I want to say I can jump straight into lines from here, but that hand's going to give me problems. So let's just pretend like this is the line art, but it's going to be the sketch still. And like everything about her appearance, I try to make mysterious and again ethereal. Down to her eyes being like very light, because I thought that would give more intrigue. I think she doesn't even need eyelashes. Like, I've been kind of wanting to nix that as a part of my style, because it doesn't really ever look good on my characters. And a more androgynous look for my characters would only be good, I think. Also, the beauty of my kind of art style I've built up is if I really like this, it can totally just be the lines because of how sketchy my line art always is. But this is really nice, I think. Like, it's gonna turn out either really good or just kind of meh. And that's kind of why I really want like an iPad, honestly. Because before, when I was just drawing on my iPad, all of my art was like bangers to me. Like all my drawings were bangers. Okay, let's undeform her head. Give her a brain, please. She has one. It's just hiding. Also, a tip that I've learned from drawing hands by brute force is if you start from the curve of the finger, like, a bad example actually, like, in this hand, like, the curve and then the straight of the finger. When you start from the curve of the finger, it turns out usually a lot better because you're not having to rely on like that. Because then, okay, you're not having to rely on your body to get the motion perfect from a weird starting point. It's like just a good starting point to start from the part that matters the most. Like, there's a point in there somewhere, but like if you start from the part of the finger that matters the most, you will get a product that you're happy with. So that's why I kind of shift from starting with the straight and starting with the curve. Okay, needs definition. Needs that. Needs a sharp angle to look good. Like, that's basically how I draw. Like, I know the basic structure of what I'm drawing, and then I'm just like, okay, what does it need in order to look better? Like, this needs, like, kind of like a bat shape for the forearm. And I'm not too sure, like, why my fish brain decides that these shapes are absolutely necessary. I just know that it looks good to me, and I would very much like to see it. And that's usually how I end up with things that I very much like to see in my art. I just add the things necessary to make it look like how I need it to. It's hard to verbalize, like, what I'm trying to say, and it's also hard to verbalize, like, exactly what it is that I am wanting. Like, here, I want this to go out further, so I'm going to redraw in the guidelines for the boobs, because her body is turning now, so it needs to be adjusted. And I think it would look better if this strand of hair was going this way and following the curve that we set up, but it's just behind her so that there's nothing really distracting. And this also gives us a point of just pure solid black for the eye to rest on. And honestly, don't feel bad if this isn't like your thought process when drawing, because this isn't usually my thought process when drawing. I'm just trying to think about it now so that I have something to say. Like, this needs to have a gap to make her finger look, thinner, more dainty, although she is anything but dainty. And looking back, or looking at it, her middle finger just needs to be, like, thicker in that area. And there we go, it looks better. Not really, but it's a hand. No one can draw hands. But, yeah, like, stuff isn't stuff I usually think about, but I don't know, for some reason it's just easy for me to think about now. This probably would have been better if I, like, did a better, like, if I actually did a line of action, but I didn't know what pose I wanted to do, but I could have exaggerated a bit more and had her hips coming out a bit more. But then again, that wouldn't have suited this character. And I think I need a bit of definition just right here. Needs to be a very smooth line. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so I want to fix up this hand because the line art's just shaky in it, and it makes it look like I'm unconfident. Like, not the shakiness that I usually have that looks sketchy. It's like shaky of I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm gonna have bad line control. No, that's not acceptable. I liked it better before. Just darken the lines and smooth them out by additive methods. And there we go. And I think that this is suitable for line art. So I'm going to duplicate the layer, bring it down, add a new layer, clip it, go to my fill bucket tool. This is for only the editing layer. Get a nice bright blue. Use that, fill it all, merge with the layer below, pin light, this layer, clipping, and undo because that was a bit bright. Use that blue, do the same thing, pin light, merge, one more time with a darker blue. Because again, we're going through ethereal, not washed out. And there we go. And now we can merge it and the effect stays the same. I know I didn't really go into depth about that, but this isn't the focus. So, now I'm going to... I'm going to pause the recording, pull up a reference, and see you guys in a sec. Alright, we are back. So, this is what she looks like. And go in between where the noise is. I could turn off the noise. That's not turning off the noise. That's not turning off the noise. That's turning off the noise. Okay, we go to fill marker. And we just fill in the skin. Because what I do is I color skin first. And that way I don't have to spend forever picking out a good skin tone. Because that's what I normally do. And this still doesn't seem right to me. But I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna trust the process and trust that I can bring it back into a more reddish tone with shading or blushing. And we cannot forget her tattoos, like I did in this drawing. So one thing I love about this brush is that usually when I use it, I don't get outside the lines at all. And I can go pretty fast like you're seeing now. And I'm going back to an older method of shading and stuff where I don't use my painterly methods, or at least on this drawing, I'm not doing like a digital painting, where I keep all the shading, blushing, or if it's just like anything, where I keep the shading and highlighting and base color all in the same layer. So in this, I'm just like using my multiply layers and using the blenders. So probably not going to see the oil brushes, but I think I demoed like the brushes pretty well earlier, and I in my community post I have two drawings that use my oil brushes. Like I showed off the triangle oil brush like very well in the beginning, but the oil brush I did not. But both of the drawings that I have in my community post use the oil brush and not the triangle oil brush, except for the bells. So let's make a folder. I'm not going to name it because I'm lazy. Well, it's because I don't want to knock over my mic typing in the name of the layer. So this is my method for like blushing. Or well, it's more my method for shading. Like this is a bit too dark. But this is the blush layer. I'm just gonna put this like where you would put it for a ball jointed doll. And then we're going to use the pencil blender. Because I like a bit of texture for my blush, but not really for my shading. And I'm going to try and like do a bit of cell shading and a bit of smooth shading. Because that's like more realistic shading. And I think it would look better with my style. So, multiply layer, select the skin, fill marker, and we'll have the light coming in from here. Oh, I could have had the opportunity to shade the ear, but no. It's easier to shade the nose if it's like facing this way. Just shading where the sun don't shine. I want to think of something better than that to say, but eh. So yeah, I'll go in with my smooth shading too. And smooth blender. I'm gonna turn the size down a bit. So, or like, the easiest way I can put this is for the shading that doesn't really make the most sense. Okay, I guess a better way to start is, so here, or better yet, here you have shading that makes sense. The hair is falling on the face, so it's going to make a hard shadow because it's closer in proximity. Same here, proximity shadow. So for everything that's not a proximity shadow, you blend out. Like on the edges of her stomach, it's farther away from the sun, so there's going to be some shadow. Or like the sun isn't hitting it, so there's going to be some shadow. Because there's depth. Because her torso is this 3D shape. I want to lighten this up. So I'll go into the soft eraser about the size of her hand and then do that. And I'll go back in with my film marker and harshen the shadow back up. I might blend the edge a bit, actually. Just because it's like a lot in shadow already. Yeah, for shadows that make the most sense, because they're proximity shadows, like I say they make the most sense, they're like the most obvious shadows, they're proximity shadows. So because her nose is shaped like a nose, it's going to cast shadow in the shape of a nose on her face. Like it makes sense. And it doesn't really make sense to have a shadow here. Like it doesn't fully make a lot of sense to my fish brain to have a shadow here because there's nothing casting a shadow on there. It's form shadow to show that her face is 3D. So I don't know why I'm just like explaining shadows and everything, but who knows? Maybe someone will find it helpful. And then we turn down the opacity because the multiply layer is so harsh when you have like these harsher shadows. And this got blended out a little bit, so we'll bring it back. And now we have our add glow layer, or glow dodge. But let's just see how it would look like in glow dodge. I do like that better. So glow dodge it is. And this is where the sun is going to be hitting her. Sun's kind of mean, not gonna lie. It's kind of hard for me to place highlights on the nose whenever I draw noses like this. Well, the Rembrandt lighting is not in fact actually. But because, like, I guess this is how I would do it. Because of the way I draw noses, it's kind of hard. There, we're just adding and blending. So all of these are going to be blended. Alright. Also, pro tip for like blenders like these, if you want it blended out more, increase the size. If you want it blended out a bit less, decrease the size. But the reason I chose a glow dodge is because it kind of looks like subsurface scattering. I can add that in, and I can take that away with an airbrush tool set to a small size with transparency, and just kind of go around the edge and give the effect of subsurface scattering. And put it back in. And blend this out. And I'm going to go back in with an add glow layer, most likely. Or maybe this will be my add glow layer. No, that just looks kind of washed out whenever I blend it. Like, it doesn't blend as well. So, glow dodge or glow dodge? No, glow dodge. We're just going to shape this little shape to make her eyelids look shiny, because I like that for some reason. Ooh, and the most important part, adding some highlights to these abs. And you can use an airbrush if you're just like lazy and you don't want to blend it out yourself. Like, I get it. But yeah, turn down the opacity a little bit. And another layer for add glow. And we're going to just do like a light red instead of my usual like light yellow, because her skin is like darker. And we're gonna add the nice pretty effect. There we go. That took way too long. And I just add these to the face. And then I take an airbrush, set to transparent, and make the edges fade away a little bit. Or I could do this with my smooth blender. But that's kind of additive, and I want subtractive. Okay, this could be subtractive a bit more, maybe completely. And last but not least, add another highlight to her cheek. That's the wrong color. There we go. And set the opacity down a little bit. And that's the skin done. Now for the hair. So with this, I think I actually will use my oil brush, just because of the way I shade hair, which I always forget about. So let's take that base color, which is somewhere in here. Fill in this lovely hair. And I might include the eyes in this layer, just because they're not really touching the hair for once. Usually I have like eyes going through the hair, which I know is a lot of people's artist pet peeve, but like, I like it. I like being able to see the eyes through the hair, because it's like more expressive, and it's just like kind of dumb, and I love it. And it's also kind of like flexing that you can draw the other eye. Like, I can draw the other eye so well that I show it off even when the hair covers it. And also, just the nature of the way I draw, where I don't usually do finished pieces. Like, especially when I'm in my sketchbook, I never do finished pieces. I just do sketching and maybe inking once in a blue moon. So, like, when you're sketching, you have to, like, draw that other eye in order to get the facial proportions correct. So, I guess it's just, like, I've been conditioned to, like, see nothing wrong with it. But, yeah, I think that's just, like, really stupid art discourse. Like, the kind of shit that no one needs to be worrying about, because if you don't like it, don't follow. Don't follow people who do it. Because, like, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to actually hinder their progress, because they kind of know that eyes don't go through hair. It's not like someone's painting, like, a Rembrandt piece with the eye being shown through the hair. Like, calm down. Acting like it's the end of the world. Is this filled in? Yes, good. So, I really like that Clip Studio Paint has such a shitty fill bucket tool, because doing this, like coloring this way, brings me back to drawing on my iPad. It's like when something reminds you of home, honestly. Like, it's that kind of feeling. Like, that very specific nostalgia. And it's like, the whole reason that I have to color it in like this and I had to make a fill brush is because, like, I see no benefit for me personally using the enclose and fill because of the way I draw lines being open like that. it doesn't know what to do, and I end up just having to fill it in myself 90% of the time anyways. So, yeah. And I've tried the fill bucket tool on any kind of tolerance, any kind of setting, so just doesn't work. Like, it leaves the ring around where you, like, so, say you have this, and then you, like, color in, like, around the lines, which is how you normally get around a janky fill bucket tool. But then it, like, leaves a little ring around where it fills, and where you filled, like this. It's not that big, obviously, but still, it's annoying. Anyways. Oh wait, no. Wrong. Incorrect. This is how you have to use this brush, essentially. You have to do it all in the same layer. Because it's paint. Paint. And you have to, like, pick the colors yourself. I know. It's terrible. It's the end of the world. Let's select this little bit. And just match up the levels in which it's blended. And pick bright white. That's good contrast. I'm very glad I picked that shade for her hair. Although now I can't get my tiny little highlights. Oh well. I can still go back in with my inky pen and do my favorite little highlights that are in the darkest parts of the hair. And I just think it makes the hair look so sparkly and so pretty. And let's do the eyes real quick. Select that. And I typically don't shade these kinds of eyes, but I think having a brighter thing right there makes it even more ethereal. And we'll take her skin tone, lighten it a little bit, desaturate it a little bit, so that it doesn't just look like she has different colored skin in her eye. Like it looks like an eye, like the sclera. Does that look natural? No. Let's make it a bit less desaturated. That's me. Let's just redo the process. So for my style, it looks best if there's not a huge contrast between the sclerae and the skin color. So yeah, this already looks a lot better. And like, this is just personal preference. And I like that a lot better. And I typically don't shade the sclerae or the whites of the eyes. So that's the hair and eyes done. And clothes. Ooh, I need to do her tattoos. So let's actually do that now. And I'll put it above the skin. That was incorrect. There we go. So we're gonna do this very dark blue. And I can actually just put this there and have this still be for the clothes. And clip. And lower the opacity. And with these, I just kind of stick to a general rule of like curves and dots. Because it's supposed to look like runes, kind of. Like, it's supposed to look like it could be runes. And that was pretty simple. So that's tattoos. Done. Clothes. In the process. Okay, that is blending in with the lines really bad. So I'm gonna desaturate it. Much to my chagrin. Or much to my dismay, rather. Hopefully with shading, this will blend in less. That's my hope. And I really don't want to color in these pants myself. But I've gotta. Because I did a sketchy line art. So this weekend, or like, so today is Monday, and this Sunday, so the Sunday coming after today, I am going back to school. And I'm honestly pretty excited for it because I have Christmas presents waiting from my biological mom, and that's really cool. But I'm also not super stoked to be going back to school because you studying. Gross. Sorry. I'm very again, drawing clothes takes all my attention. Looks pretty good. There we go. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to go back to school aside from the studying thing. I have an update for my Echo Dot. But yeah, this concludes the drawing. I need to fix my top express key so that it just zooms out and fixes the rotation because that's like so much better than just zooming out. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. So long.